I believe he was the most sensational rugby player the world has ever seen.
Mate, the guy was like trying to tackle a tree, you know, just like a bag of cement.
There are just numerous occasions where he did things that no one else will ever do.
There's probably been no one like him, ever.
This is the 1995 Rugby World Cup semi-final between two fierce rivals, New Zealand and England. Having won their last two encounters, the English were confident of beating the Kiwis again. But they hadn't counted on what the relatively untested 20-year-old Jonah Lomu would bring to the game.
That game just felt so different to any other game. I had this whole ball of energy that was in me that was just growing the whole time. Every hour, every minute, every second, it was just growing the whole time. So by the time I hit the game, I just had so much energy I could have ran for 24 hours pretty much.
For the English, all hell was about to break loose, and international rugby was to welcome a new star. Lomu would stamp his authority on the game, cutting the English down to size. Just 2 minutes into the game, a remarkable play by Lomu would show why he's considered one of the world's greatest rugby players.
I'm hoping not to see him again myself, but if we do, I think we'll have to work at that one. He's awesome, he's a freak, and the sooner he goes away, the better.
But Lomu wasn't going anywhere. On the contrary, he scored more tries in World Cup rugby than anyone, and is for many one of the most outstanding rugby players of all time. But what makes Jonah Lomu different from other star wingers of his time? To fully grasp this, we have to appreciate some of the nuances of rugby. Rugby in its most popular form is played by two teams of 15 players. The object of the game, to score points by getting the oval-shaped ball across the opposing team's goal line. This is done by carrying, passing, and kicking the ball in accordance with the laws of rugby. Each team comprises of a range of players with specific roles. The forwards are generally the big boys of the team. They're often the larger, stronger players. Speed is not their forte. The back row is made up of players who are speedier, especially the wings. They tend to be leaner, less heavily built than the forwards. But what they lack in the brute strength department, they make up for with bursts of speed.
The middle of the forwards. Your game is basically find a dark hole and put your head in it and push. Whereas out on the wing, you know, you're running with the sun on your back and the wind through your hair and the cameras are rolling. So it's a different sort of environment.
These days, it's not unusual for larger-built men to play in wing positions. But when Jonah Lomu first stepped into the scene in the 90s, he defied conventional wisdom and flummoxed his opponents. Jonah Lomu was clearly different. Given Lomu's impressive height of 1.96 metres and 100